Hey, I'm Alex, and I usually make videos about software design, but today I want to take a small deviation from that and talk about how junior engineers can find a job and give some tips based on my experience. I think it's important to talk about this because the industry is changing and we have to, give people advice that goes beyond just learn algorithms, learn data structures, learn this language, or learn this hyped up technology. Like I had an unorthodox start to my career. Like I didn't go to university like to study computer science or programming. I started with like an internship, and then I became like a full-time junior engineer. I moved across many technologies. I worked as a front-end developer, back-end developer. I've done a little bit of DevOps work every now and then, and right now I'm a staff engineer. So I think I can give you a couple of tips that can maybe help you out. The first one, like I'm not going to talk about technologies here. I'm not going to tell you what to learn, what to study, what to do, what to focus on. I'm not going to preach about the basics. I'm not going to preach about like fundamental ideas that you need to understand or anything technical. Like my tips are going to be more general career advice. And this is like, again, not something that I usually talk about, but I really feel like I should share this. My first and perhaps the most important idea is to actually look at your local job market. There's a lot of advice out there about what you should study, like whether you should study like Python right now, whether you should become like an AI engineer, because maybe you should go try to become like a forward deployed engineer, or go study machine learning, go study like data science, or anything that is anything that's hyped up right now. But the reality is that most companies out there are looking for just regular developers still. Like if I had to guess, I would still imagine that the most job openings out there are for Java developers still. Like these hyped up technologies and opportunities are usually present in these small pockets of innovation like Silicon Valley, but like they are a vocal minority. If you look outside of that, you're going to see a very different picture. So when I was starting out, everybody was giving me the advice to learn Python or learn C#, and I actually started learning programming by learning C#. But then when I looked around, I saw that like there are actually very limited opportunities in the city that I was living in at the time, like for me to actually get a job with these technologies. Like I think there was maybe a job opening with C#, but there were a lot of openings that were looking for JavaScript. There were a lot of openings for Java, and there were a lot of positions that were looking for PHP. So I actually started exploring PHP because I wanted to do backend work, but then I got a proposal to start an apprenticeship where I'd be mostly focused on JavaScript and CSS. I actually fell in love with that ecosystem. Like I fell in love with front-end development, and even though that I've hopped in across the stack many times, I still go back to JavaScript. I still write JavaScript every single day for 11 years now. So my advice would be not to get shoehorned into what you read online. Actually open up a job portal, like focused on the city that you're living in, or focused on the city that you want to move in, or just like your local area. Again, because it's very difficult to get like a remote opportunity as a junior engineer. So you're going to have a lot more success if you're focused on local companies that are looking for someone to go work in their office. So for you, this may be different. Like maybe there are a lot of opportunities in your area that are looking like a lot of places that are looking for Java developers, or like Ruby. I don't know, there may be like a lot of Ruby shops. So take a look at that, take a look at the technologies, take a look at like the languages and the stacks that are getting used, and try to pick one that is actually going to give you a chance to get a job. Again, because some companies may be looking for data scientists and machine learning engineers, but they may be looking for people who have like a higher education or a PhD in these fields, and you getting like doing a few courses, it's not going to cover like what they're looking for. And like it's important for you to have realistic expectations. It's important for you to be able to make a compromise. It's important for you to be flexible at first, because we're talking about you getting your first opportunity and your first job in the industry. Like once you get some experience in the industry, it's easier to move vertically and to go work in a different language, go work in a different place of the stack. But you need to have some track record. You need to spend some time actually building software in order for you to be able to do this. So even if you start with a language that you're not that passionate about, you can move to something different later, because like you getting some experience is going to open up more doors to you. Like I've worked with Go, I've worked with Python. I've worked with AWS extensively, Terraform, whatnot. And this is all because I started writing JavaScript and CSS. Back in the day, we had an applicant from who had graduated machine learning, and he was applying for a machine learning position in our company a few years ago. And he expected like a six-figure starting salary because this is what his peers were getting in San Francisco. But you don't get that in Eastern Europe, and you have to be realistic. Like you have to look at what people are making and what the salaries are in like your local environment, and base your expectations on that. Another tip that I can give you here is to avoid orthogonal opportunities. For example, some companies may tell you that they're not looking to hire you as like a junior engineer, but they would happily like get you as like a support engineer or someone on the support staff, and then with time you can transition to being an engineer. Like these things rarely happen in practice. In theory it works out, in practice it doesn't. Because if a company spends a year or two training you to be like a support engineer and training you to do like a specific job, it's not in their interest to then move you into another field and then like lose all that knowledge. They're going to be looking for you to maybe like mentor other engineers in this field, help out the support staff, become a team lead of like a support team, but you're not going to get like the ability to actually move and do actual development. Unless like you just need the money, this is not the best way to get into the industry. Try to look for an apprenticeship. Try to look for an internship, even if it's a low-paid one. Just try to get actual software development experience, because when you're like doing on-call and doing support, this is not like the best way to get introduced into the industry. The only compromise that I would maybe do this is if you get the opportunity to do QA, because there's still like when you're doing QA, you still have to do like write automations, write scripts, write end-to-end tests, and these actually require you to do some engineering. So this will get you exposed to like the software development lifecycle. You're going to learn how to debug, you're going to learn how to test, you're going to learn how to like where the places where problems happen in a system. And this is actual like transferable knowledge that you can get from like your QA experience and then move it when you start doing software development. Like the other big point that I want to drill down on is just how important it is to go to local meetups. In our industry, we tend to overestimate technical knowledge. And this is like the big differentiator. If you are technically excellent, you will have like an advantage over people who don't have your technical prowess. But your networking, your like the relationships you make, the friends that you make, these are very important for you to get exposed to chances that you wouldn't normally get. Like it doesn't matter how, if you go on LinkedIn right now and look at like a junior engineer posting, there are some with like hundreds of applicants, and you cannot imagine that like an overworked HR team of 2 recruiters is going through 300 resumes to find the person who is like the best fit for the job. It's usually just like some automation that is doing this, or like they're gonna sift through 50 of these and they're gonna like get a bunch of people and invite them to an interview. The way that you avoid this nightmare and the way that you reduce the way that you increase your chances of getting an opportunity is getting to know people in the industry. And this usually, like if you know no one, if you don't have any engineer friends, the best way to do this is to go to your local meetups. Like if you live in like a bigger city, there has to be some Java meetup in that city. If you're working with PHP, they may be like some Laravel like user group that you can go talk to, and if there's not one focused on your specific technology, just go to some technical meetup, talk to someone. Like if your city has an active JavaScript scene, there's most likely going to be like a JavaScript meetup that's happening, and it may not be that technically focused. It may not be like a meetup where someone is giving a talk. It may just be people getting drinks at a bar, but it's still you getting to meet people in this field. So go and talk to people. Just be genuine. Ask them about how they got their start in the industry. Ask them about like problems that you're having. Ask them about like some challenges that you're facing or technical things that you don't understand. Like just be genuine, be honest. Tell them that you're in the beginning of your journey and you're looking for ways, to get into the field. And people will absolutely help you out. Like many people helped me out when I was starting my career. And part of the reason why I'm doing this channel is so I can help other people as well. So I can give back this help that was given to me. So don't underestimate the importance of talking to people. Then like if people know that you are excited about this, if people know that you are putting time into getting better as an engineer, if they get like an internship job opening in their company, maybe they're going to reach out to you, and maybe you can learn about this before other people. Maybe they can give your resume directly to the recruiter instead of you having to apply through LinkedIn. Like I've got my last 2 jobs, one as a principal engineer and one as a staff engineer, because someone at the company told me that they have an opening like this, and I applied directly. So do not underestimate that. Take advantage of these things. Focus on like opportunities that you can find locally and realistic opportunities, and just go talk to people. That's going to be it. I hope it's useful for someone. I'm going to continue next week with the software design videos again. Thanks for watching.